My nephew texted me a photo at 11:47 p.m., a bruise the size of a fist on his ribs. Under it, 3 words. Don't tell mom. I stared at my phone in the dark, heart slamming, because the number he sent it to wasn't mine. It was my sister's, forwarded from her phone to mine, with her own message underneath. He's lying. Ignore this. That's when I knew something was very wrong. My sister, Renata, married David 2 years ago. Quiet guy, worked in insurance, always brought good wine to Thanksgiving. Her son Milo was 8, sweet and shy, the kind of kid who apologized when other people bumped into him. I called Renata immediately. She picked up on the first ring, which told me she'd been awake, waiting. He fell off his bike, she said before I even asked. David already explained it. Milo exaggerates when he's mad at us. Mad about what? He didn't want to go to bed. Kids do this. I wanted to believe her. She's my little sister. I taught her to drive. I was in the delivery room when Milo was born, but something in her voice was wrong. Too fast, too rehearsed, like she was reading lines she'd already said once that night to someone else. The next morning, I drove to their house uninvited. Renata answered the door in yesterday's clothes, eyes red. David stood behind her in the kitchen, arms crossed, calm in a way that felt deliberate. Milo was on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, not looking at either of them. Show me, I said. Renata hesitated. David said, this isn't necessary. But Milo pulled up his shirt himself, like he'd been waiting for someone to ask. The bruise was worse in person, purple going to yellow at the edges, which meant it wasn't from last night. It was days old. The bike, Renata started again. There's no bike in this house, I said. There hasn't been a bike in this house since Christmas, when the old one broke. Silence. David's jaw tightened. Renata looked at the floor. I took Milo to my car and drove straight to urgent care, my hands shaking on the wheel. The doctor documented 2 bruises, one healing, one fresh, and asked Milo directly, without his parents in the room, what happened. Milo said David grabbed him when he spilled juice on the carpet. He said it flatly, like a fact he'd stopped being surprised by. The doctor made a call. That's when things stopped being a family disagreement and became a case number. Renata called me sobbing that night, but not about Milo, about David, about how this would ruin everything, how the state would get involved, how her marriage couldn't survive this. She begged me to tell the caseworker it was a misunderstanding. You're my sister, she said. Family protects family. I sat with that sentence for a long time, because here's the twist I didn't expect. 2 days later, the caseworker called me back, not to update me on David, but to tell me something else. Renata had a history, a prior report, filed 3 years ago before David when Milo was 5. Back then, the man in the house had been someone else. Renata had denied everything then too, and the case had been closed for lack of evidence. It wasn't David who'd been failing Milo all this time, or not only David, it was a pattern. And Renata was inside it over and over, choosing the man in the room over the boy in the blanket. I don't know what to do with that. My sister isn't a monster. She's someone who was probably failed the same way once, who learned to look away because looking away felt like survival. I understand that, and I still can't forgive it, and both of those things are true in me at the same time. Milo is staying with our mother now while the investigation continues. He asked me last week if he did something wrong by showing me the bruise. I told him no, that he'd done the bravest thing in that whole house. He didn't look like he believed me. Renata still calls. She still says family protects family. I keep thinking about what that phrase is supposed to mean when the family member who needs protecting is the smallest person in the room, and the people who are supposed to give it keep choosing themselves instead. I don't know if I'll ever get my sister back. I'm not sure I want the version of her that let this happen twice.